For many, this is a hunt, but for us, it's a mission. Wild boars are not ordinary prey. They are a destructive force, fierce and relentless. To confront them in these vast fields, you need speed, vision, and firepower. That's why we're here, aboard this helicopter, to carry out the important task, entrusted to us by the community, to protect the harvest and preserve the peace of this land. Join us as we embark on today's wild boar hunt. And don't forget, watch until the end of the video to vote for the most impressive takedown. The whole team donned protective gear, earphones to block out the noise, weapons at the ready. We boarded the compact helicopter and headed out toward the mist-covered fields. Down on the prairie is always the perfect time to start. When the dark shape of the wild boar emerges, everything happens like clockwork. As the helicopter lowers, my shots are fired quickly and decisively, each one bringing the mighty beast down. The first trophy of the day, an unforgettable debut. The peace didn't last long, as the signs of destruction left by the wild boar led us straight to the western fields. As soon as they were spotted, the boars scattered, an age-old distraction tactic. Just then, the guide's voice crackled through the earpiece. Priority target on the right. I quickly locked onto it and fired in rapid succession. Despite the boar's strength and speed, charging toward the brush in a desperate bid to escape, it couldn't outrun the judgment of death. How many points would you give for this seamless coordination? From the helicopter door, a dark shape moving unusually across the field caught James's sharp eye, and the helicopter quickly swooped in. His sights locked onto the fast-moving target. From hundreds of meters away, the single shot performed flawlessly. Unbelievable! This wasn't luck. This was the skill of a professional marksman, honed through years of rigorous training. When the sun reaches its zenith and the heat becomes unbearable, wild boars seek refuge in denser, more treacherous areas like the hillside. At this point, the helicopter no longer holds the advantage. We are forced to switch to ground ambush tactics. Following the tracks, we cornered a wild boar at the base of the slope with no way out. The moment it attempted to climb, it exposed its weakness. Without hesitation, David's shot rang out decisively. All its efforts crumbled, and it collapsed, sliding helplessly down the hill, like a puppet whose strings had been cut. At the same time, on the other side of the hill, Rose silently dealt with a target hidden in the brush. With sniper skills honed to perfection, she gave the prey no chance to react. A clean, sharp shot. That's the kind of work style we always strive for. Efficient, precise, and without a sound. And a peaceful night's sleep for the locals is the true testament to the results of our hunting team's efforts. As we packed up our gear and headed back in the twilight, a wild boar's crude head suddenly emerged from the brush, clearly visible right in front of me. It thought its stillness would conceal it from the hunter. My finger took care of the rest. One clean shot, like a final farewell, shattering its naive illusion and bringing the day's hunt to a perfect close. From the heart-stopping aerial combat in the morning to the intense ground-based strategy in the afternoon, our team executed the mission flawlessly. The Land Rover Defender was ready to carry us and our spoils back. A portion of the game will be used to treat the farmers who trusted and supported us in protecting their land. Checking the highlight footage on the iPhone 15, the quality is unmatched. There are definitely some shots that will leave you in awe. If you enjoyed moments like these, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be back soon, stronger and sharper. See you on the next hunt! Last week, a family in Spain was thrown into sheer panic. Their young livestock vanished one by one under the cover of night, leaving only strange tracks in the soil. Clear evidence of the culprit. The authorities sprang into action, and Kevin's hunting team was dispatched to the scene. Following the trail, they ventured into the heart of the beast's lair, a place where every step was a test of courage. They knew wild boars weren't just prey, they were predators. Can they succeed in restoring peace for the people here? Join us for the thrilling hunt that unfolds next. At the break of dawn, the team plunged deep into the beast's lair, determined to take down every last one of the destructive marauders. Upon arrival, Kevin swiftly moved along the trail, a spot where wild boars were almost certain to appear. Just minutes later, the hound's barking snapped Kevin's attention. There it was, a massive beast emerged. Kevin executed a series of precise movements, waiting for the perfect shot. A bullet ripped through the air, striking the boar's hind leg. But with relentless strength, the creature tried to bolt. Not giving it a chance to escape, Kevin pursued relentlessly, unleashing a barrage of shots that echoed through the air. The thrilling chase ended with the beast's final defeat. The action didn't stop there. The hound's barking erupted again, grabbing Kevin's attention. He sprinted toward the sound, closing in fast. As his eyes scanned the area, a herd of boars suddenly charged across his path. Acting on instinct, Kevin fired shot after shot, managing to take down a few. But they were too numerous for him to handle alone. Luckily, Kevin wasn't solo today, and now the real hunt was just getting started. Deep in the tangled thicket, a shadowy figure tore through the brush, fleeing something, but it didn't escape James' sharp eyes. The moment it entered his range, he pulled the trigger with unflinching precision. The bullet struck true, sending the beast tumbling, motionless, unable to run any further. One shot, swift, clean, and deadly accurate. At the same moment, a tense ambush was unfolding on the western hillside. A wild boar lurked in the thick brush, but it couldn't outsmart the keen noses of the professional hunting dogs. Suddenly, the beast charged, striking back and lightly injuring one of the dogs. But with Kevin's seamless coordination with the pack, the boar was brought down in a flash, unable to break free from the tightening circle. A flawless takedown stopped the beast's ferocious attack, bringing a little more safety to the land. Tracking the prey's trail, a signal from the team crackled through. A herd of wild boars was charging towards Kevin's position. Without hesitation, he and his crew raised their rifles, ready for action. Sure enough, in less than a minute, the herd burst into view. Shots rang out, dropping the boars one by one. Cheers erupted as the threat was neutralized with flawless precision. As the team prepared to pack up and head back to the rendezvous point, a familiar shadow slipped into Kevin's sights once more. Timing the moment its body came into clear view, he squeezed the trigger in a flash. Across the hillside, only dust and the beast's lifeless form remained on the ground. This hunt isn't just a passion, it's a vital battle to protect our native ecosystem.
What?
The monstrous beasts are ravaging the crops, turning fertile land into a desolate mire and gravely threatening the native ecosystem. This is the moment for the hunters to step in, to save this land before it's too late. Do they have the courage to face these colossal creatures? Join us in the mystical swamp, where every step harbors danger and every moment is a breathless confrontation. Watch to the end to pick the hunt that impresses you most. As dawn broke, John's hunting team gathered in their familiar truck, heading to the Texas swamp. Upon arrival, the team moved into their pre-assigned positions. Leon and his comrades swiftly boarded the boat, embarking on their quest to track the monstrous beasts. Just 15 minutes in, a wild boar suddenly appeared right before them. Without hesitation, a gunshot rang out, neutralizing the threat in an instant. A precise, swift shot. A perfect start to the day's hunt. Leaving the boat and venturing deeper, they swiftly took cover in their positions. Mere minutes later, a wild boar suddenly charged out at the swamp's edge, landing squarely in the hunter's sights. Seizing the moment, a bullet was fired. In an instant, the beast collapsed to the ground, marking another triumph for the team. At another position, the hunter in hiding closely watched every movement around. Suddenly, a wild boar ambled out, oblivious to being in the crosshairs. Seizing the opportunity, rapid gunshots rang out, cutting off the beast's escape. A mere second's delay, and it could have wreaked havoc across the area. At the same moment, in a Turkish field, a thrilling chase unfolded between Finn and a colossal beast. Spotting the familiar silhouette from afar, he immediately sprang into action. As the beast turned its head, a decisive gunshot rang out. The creature collapsed to the ground, unable to resist further. A threat swiftly and precisely eliminated. At the edge of the rice field, as the hunter keenly observed every moment around, the prey suddenly burst out from within. Instantly, a gunshot rang out, cutting off its escape route. A split second slower, and the beast might have slipped away, but fortunately, it no longer had a chance to cause further destruction. At the neighboring field, Finn had taken up his blocking position. There it was, a wild boar charging at full speed from the distance, but it made a fatal mistake by veering toward Finn. He swiftly tracked the beast's movement, and then he pulled the trigger as it drew near. With just a single shot, the beast collapsed onto the grass. Another perfect triumph recorded for the team. Hunting wild boars not only protects crops, land, and agricultural economies, but also helps restore the balance between humans and nature. However, this activity must be tightly regulated to ensure sustainability and ethical wildlife conservation. Recently, the rampage of wild boars in many rural areas has reached alarming levels. They devastate crops, attack livestock, and make life for locals more precarious than ever. Today, we'll follow two seasoned hunters, Max and John, on their mission to confront the most dangerous and destructive wild boar herds. Let's dive in. From the very first moments, we witnessed a chaotic scene. A large herd of wild boars fleeing from the field they had just ravaged. In the thick cloud of dust, an injured boar lagged behind. Acting on instinct, Max sprang into action, closing in on the target. This was the moment. A decisive shot, downing the opponent in an instant. Max continued the pursuit across the field, where fresh tracks were still visible. It seemed a few stragglers were still hiding nearby. Just minutes later, a wild boar bolted through the grass. Without hesitation, he raised his rifle, pulled the trigger. The bullet struck a vital spot, and the boar collapsed with a brief roar. Not long after, Max spotted another herd of wild boars casually foraging in the grass, completely unaware they were being watched. He approached quietly from behind, moving slowly but steadily, controlling his breathing, adjusting his scope. The first boar dropped, followed by a rapid succession of shots. Quick, clean, and precise. Wild boars may be ferocious, but when ambushed at the right moment, they have little chance to fight back. While inspecting the scene, Max suddenly noticed fresh tracks leading westward. The hunt was far from over. A few wild boars managed to escape our sights, but Max didn't give up. He followed their tracks, pinpointing their hiding spots. When the opportunity arose, not a single shot was wasted. One by one, they fell, earning the admiration of the entire team. At the same time, a massive wild boar, cornered by the hunting dogs, struggled to break free, but Max was quick to arrive. After a sharp, resounding shot, the beast lay motionless on the grass. However, wild boars don't just roam the plains. They also slink through forests, hiding in the darkness and thick fog. To protect the forest from their destruction, another hunter stepped into action. In a dense northern forest, John faced a massive herd of wild boars, fleetingly appearing and disappearing through the heavy fog. Despite limited visibility and treacherous terrain, he remained calm. And then, as dark shapes flickered into view, John struck decisively. Each shot took down a target. Wild boars are cunning and agile creatures, often moving along familiar trails, and John knew this well. He chose an ideal ambush spot and waited silently. When the herd appeared, numerous and chaotic, John, with his experience, calmly took them down one by one. A series of shots rang out. One shot, one kill. The remaining boars fled in vain. It's clear that sometimes patience is a hunter's sharpest weapon. The next morning, John continued the journey. This time, things grew more intense as wild boars appeared everywhere. Undaunted, he swiftly engaged, taking down each target one by one. With his tracking skills and lightning-fast reflexes, John felled several more boars. In the days ahead, the battle against wild boars is far from over. In the fields, deep forests, or even near residential areas, they continue to emerge, and hunters like Max and John must remain ready to fight every day.
Speed, firepower, relentless pursuit. Every second is captured in raw, unfiltered footage shot by professional hunters. No refarshaus, no retakes, just instinct and a life or death battle between man and beast. Are you ready to enter this fight for survival? Let's dive in right now. The first stop. The Pindus Mountains are a rugged range where treacherous terrain, dense forests, and a rich ecosystem form the perfect maze for wild boars to hide. At 5 a.m., Ronan started up his trusted vehicle, quietly gliding through the cold morning mist toward the mountain's base. Wasting no time, he and his hunting dog plunged into the deep forest, tracking the creature locals ominously call the Shadow on the snow. After over 30 minutes of silent pursuit in skin-piercing cold, a dark figure suddenly charged, heading straight for Ronan. In less than a minute, it was nearly upon him. Would you stay calm enough to pull the trigger in that moment? Ronan didn't hesitate. A precise, decisive shot. A mark was left on the Pindus Mountains, but the journey was far from over. Felix and his team, binoculars in hand, the silence was suffocating. 15 minutes passed. Then a dark silhouette silently drifted through the low grass. Felix held his breath, eyes locked through the scope. The moment the target came into range, a light, deliberate squeeze. One clean shot. The beast dropped in the grass without a sound. When the ground no longer offers a clear view, the sky becomes the next battlefield. This time, we follow Dustin's team soaring above the wide-open skies of Texas.
Oh, we got several of them, yeah.
As the last light of dusk fades, the helicopter roars to life, slicing through the air, sweeping low over the terrain in search of the beast below.
Oh, look at there, that was good.
The pilot swiftly maneuvers in close, holding the chopper steady to give Dustin the perfect firing angle. Gunfire erupts, one by one. The targets fall, collapsing into the grass as blades of green fly with every impact. Wild boar carcasses lie scattered across the field. Today, the skies of Texas belong to the hunters. Leaving the skies of Texas behind, we now head into the mountains of Corsica, a place where movement is restricted by thick brush and rugged terrain. Lewis's team had arrived early. With all gear prepared, he moved into a pre-marked position, giving him a clear view of the opposing hillside. While scanning the dense bushes, a familiar silhouette suddenly came into view, a wild boar, sniffing through the grass, foraging for food. Lewis tightened his grip on the rifle and pulled the trigger.
Okay, it's okay for you. It's
One clean, decisive shot.
yeah.
The journey now takes us to Gorsky Kotor, a rugged land where thick forests and rolling hills weave together into a natural maze. perfect for wild boars to disappear into. Scott, along with his pack of hunting dogs, moved steadily uphill, weaving through rocky trails and dense undergrowth. Less than 10 minutes in, the dogs erupt, barking furiously at a nearby thicket. Suddenly, a wild boar bursts out like a bullet. The shot rings out the moment it breaks cover. Another ambush, over in a heartbeat. No time to think, no time to run. Suddenly, the excited barking of his dogs echoed through the woods. The target had been found. A shadow darted through the trees, frantically searching for a way to escape. But it was too late. The moment the beast broke into the open, Stephen fired.